All right, you're looking at it, our newest addition to the lot, just off the truck a few minutes ago. It's a 2006 M Roadster Interlagos Blue over light Sepang with only 49,000 miles on it. This is the spec. It will go fast, so hit us up at Atlas
Today
Motors.
we got some new things to show you. First thing we're going to show you is on this N20. Car came in, sounded like it was supercharged.
You serious?
Thinking customer thought it was a bad timing chain, which I thought it was too because of the noise. But come to find out, we pulled the valve cover off and the chains were breaking, but the chain was not resting on the head. What we found was that the noise was actually coming from the balance shaft. And this is the second one that we've personally seen fail. I'll bring you down here. This is the balance shaft assembly. This is the oil pump pickup. It bolts right there, I'll show you in a moment, but look right here at the movement this bad boy has. There should be zero movement in here whatsoever. There should be a bearing housing, and this thing is basically eating away at the aluminum housing. So we got to replace this entire unit. But this unit bolts to the bottom of the block like that. And then you have a sprocket right here, which runs the oil pump off the main timing chain. So when we replace the timing chains, we're also going to go ahead and replace this guy right here. So we got one ordered. Hopefully it comes in tomorrow, but if not, it'll be the next day. So there's the first one.
You just stumbled across this. Customer didn't even know.
Well, they brought it in because it was making a whining sound. It's a turbocharged car that sounded like it was supercharged. That's not a good thing. Second item that I want to show you guys, on the B46, B48 cars, we were talking about upgrading our coolant flanges to aluminum ones, and as well as the oil filter housings because they were better. Well, we find out that they're not better, that they fail prematurely, and that we're going in and basically replacing every one that we had to replace. We're going in and putting the OEMs back in because these things aren't lasting. I'm sorry for the poor advice, but you can see right here that the failing point is the actual gasket material. It's like blowing the gasket apart. I don't really know how else to say it. There's like a ledge right here where the motor is, and all the leftover rubber from the gasket material is just falling over. It looks like a rat's eating it or something, or some kind of animal, but it's not. It's this failing. So my apologies, but if you are looking into replacing these, go OEM. It's the only way to go at this point. So we're going to parts warranty another one. This is probably the third or fourth one that we've had a parts warranty. So I don't think the rate of them working is that great. So stick with the OEM, guys. You're getting way more mileage out of it. You know, 60 to 80,000 versus 5,000. Lowered the car down so you can see the top of the engine. Basically, we have our new chains that are installed. We reused the Vanos and the sensor wheel, but new guides. We're just waiting on the balance shaft assembly so we can button up the bottom end of it. So it's unfortunate we gotta wait for it, but if the customer were to have kept on driving with the balance shaft issue, it's 100% a engine fail rate. They're very lucky that they didn't drive it and the thing didn't lock up on them, because we have seen other balance shafts lock up motors and then they snap the shaft, and then the oil pump, there's no oil pickup, so they just basically blow up because it's got no oil flow. So they are lucky.
So let's say you're actually looking for an E90, an E92, or an E93, this generation M3. You can kind of divvy up the market into three segments right now. You have your, I wouldn't say entry level, but value-based E90 M3s, and those kind of fall between 18, mid to high 20s. Those examples in this market, depending on the variant, depending on the transmission, ownership history, all that, I would say you could get a decent pre-LCI 6-speed or even an LCI DCT E92, E93 for sure. E90, that's tough. But in that price range, you're gonna get something with over 70, 80,000 miles. Let's be realistic. In each segment, you know, let's say a 30 to 40K or even a 45 to 60K example, you can expect different things. I would expect that first segment that I just described to you to have some of your normal wear and tear. The bumper is gonna have rock chips. Let's be honest, the car's been driven, guys. It's 15 years old. It's not going to be perfect, but it's a driver's car. And for 25K or even close to 20K, that's a lot of car for the money. I mean, you're looking at Kia, Honda, and Toyota entry-level Civics start at 27. A new 3 Series G starts at 47K. Anyhow, my rant's over. Tires, you're likely gonna be on your second or third set. The tires on these are not cheap, especially if you have the competition package, The Y-spoke CSL, God, that looks so good. It's gonna be expensive. Your tires are gonna be over $1,500 easily. Brake pad, you wanna look at brake pad and rotors. These are not cheap. I would assume somewhere between $1,200 to $1,500 per axle with parts and labor. Headlights, they all came in Xeons. What else can I talk about? Windshield seals, we typically see this on the cowl. These will wear out. These can be DIY'd and replaced. It's not fun, but they can be replaced. I think one of the biggest mods you can do to this car is exhaust. The sound, once you open this up from the V8, is hypnotic. If you go catless, be afraid to piss off every one of your neighbors. On the interior, let's go on the interior. So again, you know, if I had a 328 here, it would share some of the same wear and tear components. Your driver's side door armrest right here is gonna have some wear. Typically with the Novillo leather, the upgraded premium leather, we don't see that. Plastic components here are gonna have wear. Those can be refinished or replaced. It's not that difficult. Window regulators, they go out just like 328s. Steering wheel, on the higher mileage examples, will have some wear, especially on the E93s with sun-baked if they've been left outside. You'll have wear here in the 12 o'clock position. You can get it rewrapped or refinished. Kobe wheel does it, or you get an aftermarket wheel. On some of the extended leather cars, if they've been sitting in the sun, the extended leather on the dash and the trans will pull. Bolsters here, and this is a good example. This is a sub 30K E90 M3. You're gonna have some wear here. That's normal overall. Shift knob is still gonna illuminate, but it's gonna be a little worn. Some of your plastic buttons on the dash, maybe your HVAC controls go in there. They're gonna wear too, just like an E90 328 or 335. These can all be replaced though, which is really simple. Your vent tabs, they're gonna break, they can be replaced as well. Now this is a single hump, and what I mean by single hump is it doesn't have the iDrive. When you hear guys talk about single and double hump, if it had a double hump, you'd have obviously your iDrive nav screen here. On the older models, those screens can sometimes go out, but they're easy to replace. That's really it. The headliner might start sagging, especially from you know, hotter climates. If I was looking at a 30 to 40K example, an E90 6-speed for example, you know, sub 80,000 miles, sub 60,000 mile. Some of these items I would look to make sure that those items are as new as possible. That premium price tag, when you go above 32 to 35 for an E90 or E92 M3, you start to get into garage queen exhibits. So again, those are just some normal wear and tears that we find here. You know, outside of your rod bearings and some of your other high maintenance items, you're still gonna have normal maintenance on the car. You'll still have window regulators go. You'll still have door lock actuators go. You'll still have to change the fluids. So there's a lot of maintenance that can come with the car. On the power button strip there next to the console where you have power, EDC if it's equipped with it, and then your DSC traction control, DSC off. Those buttons will fall off. You can buy new buttons now. So again, still sort of DIY friendly and approachable, that's for sure. Just like the S54, intake plenums, you can go with new ones. They're very expensive. Exhaust setups can also become expensive on these, but that's what you can expect. You know, sub 30K, you're gonna have average wear and tear, can be mended. Over 30K, you're gonna be looking at some garage queens for sure. E90 M3 6-speed in this current market, 32 to 40K range. If they have below 40,000 miles, you can expect to spend 45 to 60. So guys, I figured we'd list a piece of scripture today, and then also I wanted to go through it. Jay, you've done a really good job of putting scripture in each one of our videos, but let's talk about it, right? So today, when I was at C12 with our group, John Maxwell, famous author, was giving a speech on legacy and what type of legacy do you want to leave? And that can be kind of intimidating to think about, right? Because if you're young or you're 34 or you're at the late stage of life, figuring out what you want to leave in your lifetime, whether it be inside of us or outside of us, tangible or intangible things, that's pretty important, right? So today's scripture is Matthew 5, chapters 13 through 16, and it's known as the salt and light passage. And I want you to think of a salt shaker and a light bulb. The salt and light passage from Matthew 5, 13 through 16 describes believers as the salt of the earth and the light of the world. What's up, dude? You wanna learn
I do.
About a passage in Matthew?
Yes.
So Jesus instructs his followers to let their good deeds be seen so that others may glorify God. He uses metaphors of salt losing its flavor and a lamp hidden under a blanket, a lamp hidden under a basket, to illustrate how believers should live out their faith with influence and impact. So think of salt of the earth. Salt does what? It flavors things, right? It makes things more tasty. So if you think of being a salt shaker, you can not only preserve and add flavor, but you're meant to live in a positive influence on society. The light is obviously to be a light to others, be positive. So the question I have for you guys today is, How can you intentionally today and tomorrow do something small to impact somebody positively by being a light or by sprinkling some salt on them? A day like today, it's pretty good to be a light bulb, right?
Yeah, we're probably not going to
So, no, John. John's got a bit of road rage, so I brought in my 2-year-old daughter's book on how, what to do when you feel like hitting people. Look at him, he's so much happier. That's your challenge. Salt shaker, light bulb. How will you be someone's positive influence today?
Thank you guys for watching the video. If you guys are nearby, come check me and Dave out. We go to Triangle Fellowship Church in the Morrisville area. And if you're nowhere near us, we just encourage you to find a church near you. And oh, looks like we got some more videos over there. So why don't you go ahead and check those out. We'll see you over there.